Welcome. Welcome to this video. Welcome to the 1 in a Million channel. This is Eunice Chan. I am in a very different kind of energy today. And I think that, what I've been experiencing and feeling today has a lot to do with the subject that I'm bringing forth in this conversation. Today is one of those, like, I'm just feeling sensitive. And so if you feel that I carry a different vibe, I am a different energy, that is the reason why, right? And I want to talk about this. I think this is actually a perfect time to talk about this. While I'm still feeling kind of sensitive, I'm still working through my own stuff. I want to talk about, what do you do on days where you feel like your self-worth kind of just took a hit? And, on days where you feel like you're feeling a low self-worth, on days where you are not very nice to yourself and you don't have the best opinion of yourself, and you feel like, who are you to deserve these things? Who are you to deserve people being so nice to you? Who are you to receive all this recognition and acknowledgement? And who are you to deserve these things? It's like, it is a very, very bad feeling. And I'm very aware that when we feel that low sense of self-worth, like, I am aware that we are the ones who are putting ourselves there. And even with the intellectual knowledge, like, even with the recognition of the awareness of that, and being able to observe, like, these thoughts that are happening in my head, and witnessing what it's doing in my body, and to know how my body has been feeling and responding to those thoughts, it doesn't make it any easier. Like, having that level of self-awareness isn't just something like, I can just snap my fingers and change the way that I want to think. And I think that it requires me to just be still and be with these feelings instead of just trying to change and reroute my thoughts. Even though I am going to be talking about, what do you do about that eventually. But I think there is a very big piece of, you know, being able to process and experience the depths of the sense of low self-worth that will bring forth a very deep and profound internal shift that otherwise could not take place when you just try to brush it away. So there are so many thoughts that take place when you are feeling like you're not worthy, you're feeling like you don't deserve it, you're feeling like you're an imposter, and you're feeling like, people are not going to love you, they're going to leave you if they find out. And those are all of the thoughts that I have had, all of them, that I experienced today. And yes, I know that it's irrational. So, like, my logical mind, my coaching mind is like, oh, it's like, this is just, your fear talking to you. Don't listen to that fear. Just turn towards the love, turn towards the divine within you. And it's easy to say that, but it's one thing to just listen to the intellect and know that, you don't need to listen to that. But then it's also another thing to just, like, bypass that feeling. And whenever I feel this sensitive, and whenever I feel this, like, sort of this depth, this, like, sinking depth within myself, a lot of times it feels like the space is closing in within me, like the walls are closing in, and it feels like I just want to break out of everything and I just want to breathe. But the fact that this time I'm able to hold the space for myself, it revealed to me something a lot more profound, that I can almost like appreciate this kind of discomfort. I know it sounds a bit weird that I'm saying this, but there's almost this appreciation of the depth of your emotions, the depth of my emotions that I can feel, and the beauty that reveals itself through this discomfort, and also through, guiding myself and being with myself, sort of nurturing myself and comforting myself and being kind to myself through this discomfort. I have also discovered a very kind presence in within myself that I almost have not really experienced before, because I was always just trying to like rush my way out of this state, this situation, that I would not stay there long enough in the discomfort to be able to experience the kind presence, the loving presence that I have within myself. And so I feel, for those of you who are not afraid to, go to that next step, to go into that level of self compassion, I would really encourage you to just for a while be able to sit with it for just a little bit. Be able to just be with yourself in the discomfort, even if it were just for a slight bit longer than you used to, and experience what it feels like to just hold yourself in the pain and the discomfort and the internal crying, and know that you're going to be okay. So what brought about this feeling of like low self-worth today was, and I want to talk about this a little bit too, because a lot of times when people, we think about, we associate the feelings of low self-worth to, oh, something bad must have happened, right? Someone must have put you down, or something, you must have received bad news, or you must have, someone must have said something nasty to you, and so therefore they brought you down. But a lot of times it could be the sense of like things are just too good. Like things are just too good. And for those of you who, have a lot of good things in your life, and you don't really experience too much like, adversity, you don't experience too many like challenges that a lot of people deem are really difficult, and you're kind of like cruising along in this place in your life, but then you have this like feeling of panic and anxiety that's like chasing behind you, feeling like at any moment your perfect life, or the impression of you, or the perfection of you was just going to it's just going to crumble, and the life is just going to pull the rug under you. Like there's that feeling because it's so good. And then there's that underlying layer of feeling of just, you don't deserve things to have, you don't deserve to have things this good. You don't deserve to have things working out your way. And if a moment people saw how you actually are, if they really saw the true you, if they were able to unmask you and see you in your personal life, then they're going to hate you, they're going to leave you. And I'm not going to lie, like I was just looking at some of the, actually what brought about this was I was looking at some of the YouTube comments that I've been receiving from you guys lately, and it feels silly that I'm saying this too. It's like I'm hearing how ridiculous this sounds. And these comments were just so beautiful. For those of you who have been commenting on my videos, like, I'm so appreciative. But at the same time, it also allowed me to see a layer of myself that really needs healing, that really needs love, that really wants the comfort of knowing that I am deserving of these beautiful comments, that I am deserving of these subscribers, that I'm deserving of supporters, and that my words are actually being received. And for the longest time, I really had a hard time believing it. I was just making these videos and I'm putting it out there, and I'm like, I'm just not thinking about who's listening at all, because, I cannot handle the thought of being rejected. I cannot handle the thought of, people ignoring me, people not watching my videos. So, you know what? I'm just going to put them out there. And the moment the comments actually started coming, I was like, they can't be real. Like, these people, they're just, you guys, you probably just don't really know who I am, and that's why you guys are appreciative of me. Maybe it just happened to be, you know, I was just lucky, A lot of times we just like credit it to luck, or maybe we just credit it to they probably have not seen other people's good videos. So that's why they're subscribing to me, because, if they saw that girl over there or that channel over there, if they saw somebody else, they're not going to love me. So that was like a repetitive thought that I had. And this doesn't necessarily have to apply to, social media following. This could apply to, people choosing me in friendships. It could be people choosing to build a relationship with me. And it's like, if they really knew who I am, they probably don't want to be friends with me. So that's the thought. And sometimes it could be triggered by something nice happening to you. It could be triggered by people, reaching out to you, spending time with you, being interested to know you, appreciating you. And the part inside that feels unworthy and undeserving of this love and affection, a lot of times could feel like that, they're I'm nobody. I don't deserve any of this. As a matter of fact, I'm not even who you think that I am, this version of me that I put out there. Like, I'm not even half of this thing that I put out there. And so I really want to share this with you guys, especially, today, that I've been feeling this, because this feels really sensitive. And at the same time, I want to make sure that I have the words to, articulate it in these vibes, so that if you are someone who is experiencing this right now, if you are someone who have these thoughts about yourself, like, and also especially for those people who feel like, if you think that it's really easy for other people to have self-worth, have a high level of self-worth, and you think, oh, that person look like they just have everything together, that person looks confident, that person looks like, they know exactly what they want, they, give themselves what they know they deserve. It's like, no, it takes work, it takes belief, it takes, just taking that one step at a time. And sometimes it could mean that, we just shut off our ears, we just go la la la, and, we try not to think about those doubts that we have, because sometimes if we give it attention, then it's like it's easy to get derailed. So it's actually just easier to not listen to those doubts. And I do want to tell you that on the days where I do feel like this, it's really not easy, and it really requires, you're really holding space for myself. And so if you think that it's actually really easy for people to discover their worth, if you think that it's really, it's effortless, if you look at me or my videos and you think that, oh, it must be easy for her because she's been doing these videos like every single day or every other day. And I want to tell you, it's not. So this is kind of just like what happens behind the scenes. And, what I'm feeling right now is very real. And I want to experience this with you, because I know that there are days when, I mean, who knows? Maybe you, as a person who's watching this video, maybe you're walking on sunshine right now. But there are days where you wonder if you're really worth loving, and if you're really worth the recognition, if you're really worth a place, a name, a title, the acknowledgement, if you're really worth people connecting with you, I I want to say that you are the only one who can find that within yourself, that worth, that feeling of an anchoring worth within yourself. So, I'm going to tell you how I moved from just like these thoughts running wild in my head, feeling super, super vulnerable and sensitive, into a place where I can feel grounded. Yes, I still feel sensitive, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to carry myself too far, and I can recognize what is happening right now. So, I did a video on 3 steps to own your worth, I think probably 2 weeks ago. That would be very helpful if you, after you have moved out of this feeling. But I want to talk about, what do you do when you are feeling really sensitive? When you feel like I'm just at a very a vulnerable place right now. What do you do now, right? So I'm going to tell you what I did, because there's no amount, like when we're in a place like this, when we're like kind of calculating the things that we do, when we're measuring, like, am I worth it? Do I measure up? I'm trying to like weigh myself, counting the things that I have done, the actions that I've taken, the impact that I've made, the lives that I've changed, the comments that are coming in. But like, I can guarantee you there's no amount of evidence, when you're feeling that like that, there's no amount of evidence, there's no amount of certificates and acknowledgement and achievements that is going to help you stack up your worth, because a feeling of low self-worth is a very real thing, no matter how the numbers and the people and the comments, the support that surrounds you. It's something that you have to see inside of yourself. So how do I go from that mess, that vulnerable place, like feeling like a crystal glass, to what I feel right now? So the way that I the way that I approached it is realizing, okay, well, if I cannot calculate it, if I cannot stack up the achievements and the comments and the followers and the supporters and the people who love me and the people who are saying nice things to me, if I can't stack up all these things to, add up my self worth, because even if I added up all these things, I still wouldn't be able to feel it and see it, then I have to find that sense of self worth somewhere else. And I found it through, when I was like just really being with myself, and I asked myself, where can I really see my worth? I found it in checking in with my intentions. Because your intentions is the only thing that you can really hold, that you will know. You will know if you have fulfilled it. If you did not show up, like, I'm just using this as an example. If you are someone who makes a promise to yourself, and you say to yourself, I want to be achieving something, I want to do something, I have an intention to do something, or I have an intention to show up in a certain way, and you do not, right? You discount your energy in the way that you show up. You do not let yourself show up in that way. You do not show up on that level. And you compromise the integrity in your presence, in your work, in your energetic investment, in your engagement, right? In your creativity, or whatever it is that you set out to do, then the the lack of integrity is going to make it a very wobbly foundation. And that's no wonder that your self-worth takes a hit, because there's nothing really solid to land on. But if you set out an intention, no matter how small that intention is, like let's say My intention is to live today to be creative, or my intention is to learn to be more expressive. My intention is to just allow myself to put one idea out there at a time. And if I knew that I allowed myself to follow this intention and fulfill this intention and actually live up to this, no matter what the result is, no matter if people were watching my video at all, no matter if I was able to actually, hit the mark, considering myself successful or having any achievements or, getting a good result, none of those things would matter for as long as I have achieved my intention, for as long as I have walked in alignment with my heart's intention. My heart would know that 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 desire, that energetic projection that I set out there is being fulfilled. And that is the feeling we are looking for, my friends. This is the feeling that our heart is looking for, because there's no amount of recognition, or material, physical manifestation of the things that we do is going to fill that place in our hearts to let us know that we did well, to let us know that we are worth it. There's no amount of things that we can see and gather and hold and hoard and grab onto to add up to our self-worth. Like, we cannot hold all these things and say this amounts to my worth. We can't do that. The only thing we can do is check in with ourselves to see if the way that I showed up, the way that I stepped up myself, was it aligned to the person that I said I was going to be? Right? Did it measure up to the energy that I intended to project? Did I energetically fulfill that? Did I allow myself to energetically release that desire? Did I allow myself to truly pursue that feeling? And if I did, then my worth is solid. Your worth is solid. And let me tell you, when you arrive at this place, it will be unshakable. It will be unshakable because you have found it in a place within yourself that you can, that it's almost like this this gap that it fills. You can hear the click that happens. So I know this was a very vague topic because, sometimes when we feel this way within ourselves, we're not even able to have the words to articulate it. But I hope that the way that I explained and put it out there today, the way that I express myself today, in being in this state, having experienced this today, I truly believe that I was feeling sensitive, and I truly believe that I was being sensitive and vulnerable and feeling like, just feeling like heavy on my heart. I truly believed that it was for a reason, and this message had to come through. And so I really appreciate your comments. I really appreciate everything that you guys had to say. That everything means a lot to me, and also because of that, it makes me question: Am I worth it? Am I really worth, the recognition and, to be the person that you see in me? And almost wonder to myself, can I live up to that version you see from the screen? And so it's a very good reminder for me to continue to check in with my energy. Oh my God, it's a Janice. Is it a Janice? The messages disappeared. Hi! So happy that you're here. It forces me to be in this place where I constantly have to check in with myself, because I know that, if our self-worth is not is not gathered by evidence, then it has to come from a deeper place from inside, where we can actually recognize, we can hold on to, we can build a very strong foundation, so that, from the inside it can start to add up, it can make sense, it can click, it becomes our identity, and then it builds upon who we are. So, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I hope this message landed with you. And Janice, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the beautiful messages. Let me know what you guys think of this topic. And if you guys are feeling, not worthy, and you guys are feeling undeserving, let me know if this helps you. And also, just, I hope this helps you feel back into your substance and your truth. So, with that said, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.